I grew up in a small country town called Gunnedah, New South Wales, Australia, which is like 6 hours northwest of Sydney. Both of my grandfathers played music. So my grandfather on my dad's side, he played the alto saxophone in a jazz ragtime band. And my grandfather on my mother's side, my poppy, he played country music. And I remember sitting on this knee and he'd wrap the guitar around me and sing songs. And it was funny as a little girl, you know, all the cousins would be playing and doing other things, but for me it was like when Poppy brought out that guitar, I'd be mesmerized by him. And my first experience with music started out, apart from my grandfather's, started out in school where I sang in the school choir. And I think I was about 7 years old, 7 or 8, when I found my voice. I started getting some like solos in the choir and some really good spots, and it was a great opportunity. And these teachers noticed something special in me. I wasn't very smart. I couldn't read very well, and I was always in the dumb classes at school. It was something that I was actually good at, so I loved it. I would be singing every chance I could get. Singing in a school choir ended up leading me to audition to be a performer at the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000. My first experience playing an instrument was the piano, but I found it harder to express myself than what I would with a guitar. And the moment I picked up my brother's guitar and started teaching myself chords and writing songs was when life kind of began for me. I would say I felt like I was on my path, and I was obsessed. I used to get off the school bus and run as fast as I could home and just play and write songs for hours every afternoon, and then I'd fall asleep, and then Mum would wake me up for dinner, and then I would play until 3 a.m. in the morning. You know, I was probably a little too tired to be going to school. When I was in high school, I had an opportunity to be part of the Talent Development Project, which is a music school, I guess you could say, for a lot of upcoming musicians. And when I was doing it, I went to school with Molly McClymont from the McClymonts, Morgan Evans, who's now here in Nashville and kicking some major butt. And the year after me was Tom from Seaforth, who's doing amazing as well, and Angus Stone, who's incredible. So I found myself surrounded by all these people that have gone on to do so many amazing things. So a fun fact that some people don't know when they meet me now is that I had a little stint on national television in Australia on a TV show called The Bachelor Australia. I was on the season 2, and it was Blake Garvey who was the Bachelor, who's Australia's most hated Bachelor, I think. And it's so funny, I remember watching the TV show and think, if I was ever single, I'd totally go on that show. For me, the whole journey on The Bachelor was such a personal one for me. I hadn't written songs in a while. I was creatively just, I was going through my depression, and I was still trying to get healthy. And which is crazy. Here I am with depression, having antidepressants every day and going on national television, hoping Australia likes me. I'd get anxious around big groups of people, and with all the girls, it was a bit too much for me. I would always just go and grab my guitar and sit in the courtyard of this mansion and write songs. And I started journaling, and I felt like if I could get through this opportunity and feel proud of the person I am, I'm going to come off my medication and I'm going to book my ticket to Nashville. I think one of the most challenging things that I've probably been through wasn't depression. It was more so coming out of depression. I remember I was determined to get better. I knew I had to get better, and coming off my medication was one of the hardest things I ever did. And I kind of remember thinking that if I could do this, I can totally go and take Nashville on. That was a big stepping stone for me. I remember as soon as I got better, as soon as I got off my medication, I got an email from Dan Hodges Music, which is a publishing company here in Nashville, saying, Katrina, I just wanted to let you know that the one song I recorded 6 years beforehand got cut. And I thought, wow, if that's not Nashville calling me, I don't know what else is. So, of course, a few months later, I booked a ticket. In 2015, I came out to Nashville for 3 months, and I remember being so broke. I would walk 6 miles down West End Avenue with my guitar on my back and my computer in my hand, and eating tacos on Tuesdays for $2, and every other day was just basic. I would be eating bread and toast because it was really cheap. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like I've never been so happy in my life. I need to be here.